Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another review. And today I'm gonna be doing a review on The Flash. No, not the movie, the show. So the Flash TV show is the second Arrowverse, the second installment in the Arrowverse series after Arrow, and came out in the year 2014, premiered in 2014, and lasted until recently in 2023. And it stars Grant Gustin, Candice Patton, Daniel Panabaker, Carlos Valdez, Jesse L. Martin, Tom Kavanagh, Daniel Nicolette, Kayla Compton, Brandon McKnight, uh, and a lot of others. And basically, the plot tells the story of Barry Allen, who was struck by lightning, and he gets into a coma and wakes up from his coma to become like the Flash. Gives him a super speed, and he must fight a lot of villains throughout the season. Throughout the season, and and um, and yeah, that's basically the plot for this. So, just let you know, guys, I have seen the Flash movie, and I didn't really post share my quick thoughts. I actually shared the more major, a heavier opinion on it on Instagram. So if you have Instagram and you want to know what I thought about the Flash, just tell me in the comments. I mean, just check out my Instagram post or check out my community post for it. But yeah, just like you know, I was originally going to be reviewing The Flash yesterday, but something happened. I'm sure you probably know what happened to me. Something happened that really just I know just got me like affected, and I wasn't able, and because of that, I wasn't really able to review this because of what happened. I couldn't really just stop thinking about it, and I couldn't really give myself time to review it. Plus the fact I was gonna see it like at a later time, but then I was gonna give myself time to review it, but then my dad was like, "Hey, we should." My dad like said found out yesterday, said we were gonna watch it at the earlier time, so that's how I decided to watch the Flash earlier. How I decided, you know what, I'm gonna delay my review of the Flash. So yeah, I will. So yeah, since today is Father's Day, by the way, happy Father's Day to you all. I'm gonna be reviewing this one, and then I'm talking about my thoughts on it, having lunch, and then I will review the Flash like later this afternoon, like around maybe 5 in my area, like later. So maybe if you're a viewer in the US or UK, you'll see my review of the Flash movie tomorrow morning. So that's that's certainly a promise. So yeah, now that I've yeah gotten the Flash movie. I mean, I wish I reviewed it now, but I decided I think it's best for me to just review the show first. Since I am still currently undergoing my Flash reviews, my review series leading up to the Flash, where I reviewed where I reviewed the Supergirl projects, the awful Supergirl movie, and the Supergirl and the Supergirl TV show, which is still my favorite CW show. Yeah, that's already what I'm gonna say. I think Supergirl is my favorite CW show, but you see where the Flash ranks it, and yeah, and then I reviewed the Michael Keaton Batman movies, and then I reviewed the Flash. Yeah, and I think that's certainly perfect because it's the Flash. So yeah, the Flash has a very interesting background when it comes to how people react to it, because because everyone loved the first 3 seasons. Well, I heard a lot of people say season 3 is overrated. I get that, but I mean the first 3 seasons were amazing. Even though season 3 isn't really flawless in my opinion, it still rocks. And I still enjoyed all the seasons for the most part. For the most part, until season 7. Oh my goodness, yeah, yeah, that was, yeah. I mean, it has reached a point where it has become one of the most hated CW shows, and The Flash has turned into a prime example of CW shows gone bad, up to the point where they just people will just constantly roast CW, and every time there's a superhero TV show that looks cheap, or even a movie, like they're gonna like compare to CW. I've heard people saying Miss Marvel looks like CW, and even Blue Beetle looks like CW, like in a bad way. I think both of them don't deserve the hate. And I'm hoping people don't hate Blue Beetle. Fingers crossed that people will be surprised by Blue Beetle. I'll talk more about Blue Beetle in my review of the Flash movie, but yeah. In this video, I'm not gonna talk much about my opinion of the Flash. So I'm gonna talk about this show on its own thing without having to compare this to the Flash. Yeah, but so yeah, what is my opinion on this show? You may ask. This show is great. I really dug this show for the most part, but yes, it's not as good as Supergirl. I think Supergirl is the best Arrowverse show, CW show. But I would say The Flash is my second favorite show of all time. My second favorite Arrowverse show, and yeah, unpopular opinion, I prefer this over Arrow. I mean, don't get me wrong, Arrow is a great show, but I feel like Arrow isn't really a hero that I would always follow till the end. I love the actor who plays Arrow. He's great, but I feel like Arrow just isn't really a superhero I'm passionate about. I would love, and I would like would always be like too interested to know more about, which is probably why I prefer the Flash. But I think the Flash and Arrow do have something in common because they started as masterpieces, but they go downhill from in the later season until the finale season just crumbles. Just crumbles. But yeah, the Flash. So with the Flash, I will admit though, I mean with the Flash though, it's very interesting with Supergirl. But when it comes to Supergirl, I mean, as you remember, I love you probably remember. I mean, I love the best season, which is season 4. But I mean, Supergirl, that show doesn't really have a garbage season, a season that really like I cannot stand. I think all the seasons are not bad. When it's bad, it's just underwhelming. It's just miss. It's just a miss, but it's not really like a god awful season. When it comes to the Flash, the best season is actually better than and this is actually better than the best Supergirl. But at the same time, the worst season of the Flash is worse than the worst season of Supergirl. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's kind of why I prefer Supergirl because the Flash feels a little more inconsistent. I wish Supergirl had all seasons I wish all the like seasons lived up to one another, especially the best ones. But oh well. But yeah, before I talk about the season on their own, let's review. So I'm not gonna take a long time with this one, because I have to go out soon. But I still need to edit and upload this. But hopefully I'm saying this like I'm saying I won't. It'll be short. Yet it'll be long. But yeah, I'll say the best that I could. We'll see about that. But I don't want to go it down because what if it ends up being long? We shall see. But yeah, first things foremost, let's talk about Grant Gustin as the Flash. Grant Gustin is the greatest Flash. Sorry, Ezra Miller, but not even Ezra Miller in the movie could talk. Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about my thoughts on the movie. I won't say how I felt about Ezra Miller's thoughts on the Flash. You'll probably know how I felt about Ezra Miller as a person, but when it comes to the Flash, I won't say how, but I'll just say Grant Gustin is the superior Flash. He is the true Flash actor. Suit wise, maybe the movie did it better. Okay, enough of the comparisons now, but I mean, when I see the Flash, when I think about the Flash, the first thing that comes into my mind is Grant Gustin. I mean, and his performance as the Flash completely steals the entire show. Is he my favorite character? But not gonna lie, he's not really my favorite character. He's probably tied with someone else as my favorite character. You'll see what I mean. But yeah. But Grant Gustin as the Flash is just so great. like I mean, maybe sometimes the suit can feel a little but I mean they don't really upgrade the suit at all that much, so it does look doesn't look bland at the end. But I understand why it's CW. But I mean Grant Gustin, even just as Barry Allen without wearing a suit, his performance is amazing. He has never, and I mean never given a bad performance in throughout this show. Yeah, he has never given like yeah, I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Not a bad performance in the slightest bit, and yeah, let me see, and I know people are begging for Grant Gustin to return as the Flash later on. A Flash later on. But yeah, but he's actually not my favorite character. He's actually my second. Not my favorite character in the Flash would have to be Frost. Oh man, Killer. What can I say about Killer Frost, man? Remember when I said in the Supergirl review that Dreamer is my Arrowverse crush? Well, I gotta take that back because Killer Frost is my true Arrowverse crush. Yeah, she is just amazing in this. She's amazing in this one. I love the actress Danielle Panabaker. Yeah, she is really good and. Okay, what else is there to say? And yeah, and I love her power. She's like an evil version of Elsa. And you know I love it when I see characters just having ice powers. Reminds me of Elsa, and I think I kind of enjoy her arc more. And I feel bad for the character behind her. You know and I mean the transformation is amazing. Any scene with the Killer Frost in it is probably my favorite moment in the entire Flash series. And although I don't remember how her character went, but one thing's for sure, yeah, she is my favorite character in this show. But and the super thing, and and yes, Killer Frost is by far the best villain. The best villain in the show, since Killer Frost is technically a villain, and Frost is yeah, Killer Frost is technically a villain, and yeah, so that as for the other supporting characters, they're pretty good for the most part. Yeah, they're pretty good for the most part. I think Iris West gets way too much hate. She's not as bad as what everyone says she is, but she's alright. I guess not as good as um well, I'm not sure. I mean, not one of my favorite characters, which is great. Yeah. And then yeah, and the villains would range from god awful to and the villains of the show would range from god awful to great. I mean, I already talked about Killer Frost being my personal favorite Flash villains, but there's like some other villains I wanted to talk about. I love seeing King Shark being one of the villains in this show. But I mean, it makes sense because I mean it yeah, I mean it makes sense for King Shark because King Shark is technically a villain. He's a great villain, but maybe I might be biased saying that because I might be biased saying that because yeah, he was in the Suicide Squad, but yeah, this King Shark is pretty good for the most part. Yeah, and was there? Oh yeah, there's also the fan favorite character. What's his name again? The I'm oh yeah, Reverse Flash is great as well. Like you know, Reverse Flash is you all know he's the most powerful villain in he's the most powerful villain, and he certainly does show his strength. And it's one of the reasons as to why season two is the best season. And yes, spoiler for that later on. But yeah, I really enjoyed Zoom in this season. Yeah, she's probably by far my second favorite villain, second one behind White Death. And what else did there say? Yeah, there were some really lackluster villains as well. But lackluster villains like this. There's this gorilla villain. Eh, there's this like gorilla villain who's just like I don't really like him that much. I think he's overrated villain. I understand why people like him. He's just what oh yeah. I think I forgot to mention about Killer Frost. One thing I love about her character arc is that she's like one of those character. I love one of those character arcs who goes from good to evil and can't really decide her fate. Can really, and I like that. So yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention. But yeah, anyway, going back to it. Um, I also do like this other villain, Savitar. He's a great villain with actually pretty good CGI for the most part. Yeah. But yeah, by far the worst villain in this show is the Speed Forces. They're such boring villains. Like all they do is just try to like stop Barry from doing what he's doing, and that's basically it. That's all. Like they have, that's pretty much all that their motivation. Just stop Barry. Like for what? Like maybe I just don't remember. They're just forgettable. Like when you and plus the Speed Forces, the villains, they're just regular human beings. So the Flash in the show would throughout the show would fight powerful beings, aliens beings, but and then you expect one of the villains to be just a regular human being who's just nothing who's just nothing eh. And also the Red Death was an awful villain. So yeah, let's talk about some my favorite and least favorite episodes and the season, and then we're done. Yeah, I don't. No, I mean it's actually not gonna lie, guys. It's actually a bit hard to talk about the show because there are like 9 seasons, and I haven't really seen this in a while. So yeah, it's easier to talk about Supergirl because there's at least less seasons, less episodes. But this one, there's just so many episodes, and all of them are like, there's 9 seasons, so there's like over 100 episodes, almost 200 episodes, like 180 or 90 something. That's why it's a little difficult for me to talk about the Flash. But yeah, now I'm gonna give you guys my best and worst episodes. So yeah, my favorite episode of the show is season 2, episode 13. Welcome to Earth 2. That episode was epic, and where Killer Frost truly shined as being my favorite Arrowverse character. I would like to see a spin-off to Killer Frost, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Oh yeah, also some of my honorable mentions, the seasons 1 and 2 finales, both finales are epic. And that pilot season is perfect. Probably a better pilot episode than Supergirl, I should say. Um, yeah. And I also love that the Crisis on Infinite Earth episode from season 6, but I personally think Supergirl did the Crisis on Infinite Earth episode better, in my personal opinion. And the worst episode of the season of the show would have to be Family Matters Part 1, Season 7, Episode 10. Oh boy. I despise that episode with such a burning passion. I really like. I'm sure you probably know why. Cause of this. Yeah, I bet you probably know why. Cause this weird monster. I don't even know him, but basically, I don't really remember his name. But he's like this Hulk ripoff where, with edited design. Yeah, he was the reason as to why season 7 episode season 7 episode 10 is my least favorite season, because that season just because that season is I know that episode just just grossed me out with that yeah, with that design, and that action scene, and that CGI, is, yeah, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. I don't need to talk about, I don't really want to talk about him that much. So yeah, now let's talk about my ranking of each season. I don't have much to say about them as individuals, but yeah, if I had to rank the seasons, I would say, yeah, the season seven is number nine, my least favorite season of the show. 2 out of 10. But the only good thing about it was Grant Gustin's performance. That's it, but everything else just, awful. Number eight, season nine. Yeah, I saw it for the first time before this, and it's such an underwhelming finale. Just such a mess. Yeah, sure, it's a little overhated. It's not that bad. I would say it's a 5 to 6 out of 10, like that. It's fine. It's not bad, but it's just underwhelming. Although overhated. The number seven is season eight. 6 out of 10. It's okay. Okay season. It's a mixed bag. Good to me. Number six is season five, 7 out of 10. Not much to say about it. Number five is season four, 7 to 8 out of 10. Like high seven. Like it's decent, I guess. It's a solid show, no, but I don't have much to say about it. There's some cool stuff to it, but I mean, it can get boring at times. Number four is season three. It's an 8 out of 10. Great season. Great season. Really good season. Actually, no, scratch that. Number four is season six, which is an 8 out of 10. That Crisis on Infinite Earths episode, like, was amazing, but there are some flaws in it too. Number three is season three. 9 out of 10. Amazing season. Especially with the Killer Frost moments. Especially with the Killer Frost moments and Savitar, or what, I forgot what you call him here, but whatever. Number two is season one, a perfect start, a perfect series premiere. But I think we can all agree that season two is the greatest season. It is the darkest season, especially with the main villain. You probably know who it is. Sorry guys, but I just don't really memorize all the villain names in this one. Yeah, the introduction to the best character in the series and best Arrowverse character, Killer Frost, and I think has the best writing. So yeah, so overall, The Flash is a great show. It's not as good as Supergirl, but it's better than, I prefer slightly more than Green Arrow, which is a hot take. So yeah, yeah, I mean, it starts off perfect. It actually has a perfect start to it, especially the first two seasons. And while the next couple of seasons are flawed, and it definitely went downhill at the end, I still really enjoy The Flash, and Grant Gustin is the best Flash actor. So with that said, I'm gonna give The Flash TV show an 8 out of 10. So also from my review of The Flash TV show, what is your opinion about The Flash? Do you agree with me that this is the second best Arrowverse show behind Supergirl? Do you prefer Green Arrow over this? Do you Green Arrow over this? Or is this your favorite CW show, Arrowverse show, or do you hate this show like some others? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of The Flash, the new Flash movie. So yeah, bye guys.